Hi guys, this is a real quick introduction to the following video. I've got it up on my knockoff channel, I've had it up overnight, it's had a really great response, but I've had a lot of personal messages saying, Ben, the transformation is very unique, it's not actually a knockoff, so it should go on the main channel. So to cater for those that have asked, I'm just going to mirror the video onto this channel as well. If you've already watched it, then please don't feel like you have to watch it again. There's no extra content, and if this is new to you, then please enjoy. This is the Wei Jiang NE-01 MEGAMASTER.
Hello everybody and welcome to BensKOllectables. If this is your first time visiting, then hello, don't worry, it's not such a dirty habit anymore. Knockoff figures are making a comeback. The guys over at TFS Express were contacted by Wei Jiang asking if they would be interested in stocking the NE-01, their new evolution version of Megatron. Wei Jiang sent over a prototype to have a mess around with and to see whether or not they like it. Now this figure is doing the rounds and he's made his way on to my doorstep. Being the self-proclaimed king of KOs, I jumped at the chance to get my dirty little mitts on this boy, and to be honest with you, he may well be my favourite Megatron to date. I've pre-ordered mine at TFS Express. They've got him up for a very good price. I got the early bird price. I think there's still early bird prices available. There's 150 of them, and that's just shy of £70, which for a figure this size is a fraction of the cost people pay for the official MP Megatron. Now, I don't want to call this guy a knockoff because he is not exactly a knockoff. Yes, it's clearly Megatron, but he actually comes across as more of a hybrid, almost kind of like a love child from Apollyon and MP36. Let's take a look at the accessories first. As you can see here from the clamshell, he will come packaged in a robot mode, so you don't have to worry about him being stopped for looking like a gun. Starting off with his weapons, we get a very nicely articulated mace, which we can just slide in like so. I prefer these as opposed to the chains because we can actually pose them. You can still make it look like a chain, but it's stiff enough so you can actually have it swinging around and you can get some really nice action poses. We get his mind control helmet, which he uses to control the dummy version of Optimus Prime. We get his sword, which comes in two parts. I love that sound. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's just Megatron's sword. Very nice paint finish on these. Very small blemishes along the blade and a bubble at the top there. But like I said, this is a pre-production, so things may be slightly different with the final release. We have a large version of the key to Vector Sigma. A little tiny bit of paint flaking just on the inside there where it's been painted up. It's done in a very nice kind of shimmering metallic gold, and it does fit the MPP-10 oversized Vector Sigma. There we go. My key fits in the hole. We get the gun, which is used to shoot Prime whilst he's holding Hot Rod hostage. Now, I've been told that Blitzwing used this gun in the episode, and then that was him that dropped it. A lot of people then said, no, it's just a generic gun that just happened to be laying around on the floor. Do we actually know who owns this gun? Could it have been planted there? You know, was it all a conspiracy? Did Hot Rod plant it there? We get the battle-damaged chest plates, very different to what we get with the official Masterpiece Megatron one. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to apply a sticker to this. Hopefully, Toy Hacks can do some sort of kind of bumpy, worn away sticker. As you can see, it's substantially bigger and a very different shape as well, and they've gone for a different method of installation. This literally just pegs in to the chest and the official slides down. We get three alternative faces. We get the kind of angry shouting face. Love how bold and crisp those eyes are. We get the psychopathic laughing face. That's just terrifying, absolutely terrifying. We get the bleeding green Energon face. That's to go with the battle damaged chest. I like that they've taken it one step further than the Takara release, and they've actually painted up the blood on there, and it's actually a raised sculpt. And of course we get the sculpt which comes on as standard. I believe this is a standard one, or maybe the laughing one. I've been told that I believe it's this one. The mouth still has to be painted up just to highlight it a little bit more, but because it does get a little bit lost in that sculpt there. I believe that's the one they're talking about. I just had a few notes in the package saying this is going to change, this is going to change. So there we go. This is the kind of stern, generic Megatron face. And then we have this. This is a silencer, and at the same time it kind of isn't. Bring these pieces up, untab this piece and this piece, extend these outwards, bring these down, slide this piece forwards, lift this up, and bring this back, and then bring the head up, and there we have Laserbeak. Laserbeak made out of the silencer. Yes, he doesn't look as much like his animation counterpart as the version we get with Masterpiece, Soundwave, etc. But you know, that's nice. That's very unique. It's just nice seeing something a little bit different. Nice sculpt on the face there. Definitely very bird-like face. We can move the wings up and down. The end sections can go inwards and outwards. The feet can slide up and down as well as rotate on those ball joints. All in all, not the most perfect, but very unique nonetheless. And finally, that brings us round to a Megatron himself. Here he is alongside MP36 and Apollyon. He really does draw inspiration from several different versions of Megatron. I love that Wei Jiang haven't just bootlegged MP36 and enlarged him. They've used their initiative and, in my opinion, have given us a much cleaner, almost more G1 animation accurate version of Megatron than Takara did. And this, in my opinion, is highlighted most when we look at the back of Megatron. That is by far the cleanest one I have owned. Now I know Make Toys did a very good job with their Despotron. He had a very clean backpack. Apollyon's isn't overly untidy apart from those butt skirts, but when we look at MP36 in comparison, that's where it becomes very apparent. Now, first of all, let me talk you through how to uninstall the orange cap. You go like this and you remove the cap, and there we have a very gorgeous looking Megatron. He just looks fantastic, doesn't he? Now, he's not without his flaws. Like I said, this is a pre-production sample. There may be a few things that change before his official release. One problem I'm having is his torso does tend to slide more than I'd like. He slides for part of the transformation and it doesn't really lock in as tightly as I would like. I think this may have been something that I've done wrong with the transformation. We don't genuinely get instructions with these. I got a few pictures sent over to me last night, which was awesome. It really did help me kind of clear things up. I took this gun apart to add some batteries in there. You don't need to take the gun apart to add batteries. You just extend this, which is on a nice ratchet, and then we have access to the battery compartment on the rear of that cannon, and we can then just press the button, and there we have a nice bright red LED light. Now you hear a rattle. That rattle is actually the button. There's nothing inside the gun which is rattling around. If you hold it, it doesn't rattle. It's just that button bouncing up and down. So there we go. That's now off. Oh, he looks so good, doesn't he? Changing the face is very straightforward indeed. We just push the head back and then just push up on the front of the face, and that just slides back. And just look at the detailing underneath the head. They've got that down exceptionally well. That literally looks like what we see in the 86 movie. Now, which face should we put in? Should we put in the smirking face? Let's put in the battle damaged face. That is my personal favorite. We just slide that down and make sure you push. There we go. Look at that. I still function. Oh, that looks really nice. The chest, again, is very easy to install. Work the chest off. Bring the new chest in. Bump, bump, bump. And there we have battle damaged Megatron. Now, he doesn't look as beat up as I would like. It's not, in my opinion, as well done as the MP36. I mean, they've pretty much nailed the beaten up look from the movie, but you know, that's a pretty good attempt nonetheless. Articulation, again, is very impressive. Head can go up, great range there, and we can look down, we can rotate left, and we can rotate right, and of course we can do some maniacal tilting to the side. The arms come up and down. Look at that, all the way up there. Loving this joint here. It just disappears in and out. We can slide the arms forwards and backwards. We can rotate the arm all the way around on a nice ratchet. We get an upper bicep rotation. We get a 90-degree bend at the elbow. I do like how this joint disappears in there. We get a rotation on the lower elbow. The hands can rotate, and if we just open up those fingers, they're done pretty much the same as the MP10. We have these three fingers pinned, and we have the trigger finger on its own with an additional hinge. As previously mentioned, my waist does tend to shift forwards a little bit on its own. We still have these press-in sections on the side here and a press-in section on the back. We can rotate the waist on a really stiff ratchet. So it's a very natural look. We have hip skirts to the front and side, which allow for the legs to go this far forwards. They are hindered somewhat by the side of this crotch piece, but you can get around that just by compressing the thigh, and you can bring that leg all the way in. I mean, just look at the inner leg detailing. Even the pistons in the thigh there are highlighted. We can bring it out to the side. You get upper thigh rotation coming down to the knee. Really nice bend at that knee. Not quite 90 degrees, but really nice strong ratchet in there. And then coming down to the feet, go forwards and backwards, and we can tilt them left and right. Unfortunately, we don't get any left and right rotation though. So with the combination of nice tight joints and great posability, we can get some really nice battling poses. I really do love having those weapons in hand. Another nice touch was to put this on a ratchet. You didn't need to include a ratchet on this, but it's nice to have a ratchet on there nonetheless. And he just looks so imposing, doesn't he? Those of you wanting a quick scale comparison with the MP10, he actually stands a smidge taller than Prime. Here he is alongside a Robot Heroes Starscream. Again, that's a very good scale in my opinion. Here he is controlling Zombie Prime. And here we have the oversized Wei Jiang Ironhide biting off a little bit more than he can chew. You height junkies out there, he stands at just shy of 13 inches to the top of his head, and nearly 15 inches to the top of his cannon barrel. And that's around 33 to 38 centimeters, and with a good balance of die-cast and plastic. It comes in at 711 grams. That's 25.07 ounces. So he's just a fraction lighter than Prime is. Now, as much as I absolutely adore this robot mode, Megatron's laughing at me, he doesn't like my hair. I am going to get him transformed up into his gun mode. Now, initially, I thought these by reading the instructions, I thought this might actually be parts forming, but it isn't. This piece here comes off, comes down and folds down to the base like this. You want to open up his arms all the way out. Love all of this detailing, loads and loads of die cast involved here. And with the arms straight, we're going to just compress that all the way in, close off the fist, flip this tab up, and then fold this additional piece upwards. Lift this up so it's facing up like so, and we've got a tab here and a tab here. We're now going to bring this piece, fully extend this shoulder piece and bring that up, and that's going to tab in to both of those tabs like that. Detach his cannon, which is tabbed in very securely on his arm, and do exactly the same with this arm. Untab this back piece like this, open it all the way up like that, and then slide this up to the top, slide the cannon all the way down, and it does just flop around here for the moment. You need to just slide it back on itself, and there's a small tab just on this bracket, and that's just going to hold that in place. Now we can then bring Megatron's head forwards and just untab this piece here, bring this back panel backwards, rotating Megatron's head 90 degrees. We can then fold that up, and that's going to go inside the chest with perfect clearance, and just click that back off. Now to disengage this top piece, you just need to lift the arm out slightly, and then this is going to allow this piece at the back here to drop. This is where he kind of draws from a polygon. We can now rotate him on this hinge, just slide it, rotate it, making sure this piece is fully extended, bring it all the way around, and then as we do so we can rotate this piece up, make sure that that's fully clear, push those in. These are going to tab together at several different points, and this is going to push and secure itself into this part. Close off this tab on top, pushing that firmly into place, and then bring this piece round, and that's just going to slide and compress into the front. Lift up the hit skirts, and as these two tabs either side, just push down on either side, pulling those legs away to the back. Bring out this piece, which allows us to open up the leg, and then we can just apply pressure to the base of the foot, lift this up, and that just untabs away from this piece. This open flap piece, you want to lift this lower section up, and that's going to fold upwards on itself. This tab here is going to fold in first. We can then fold this tab in over the top, and then we're going to lay this in here, and pushing on this base hinge, that's just going to collapse and hide away. Bring this piece all the way out to the side and extend this tab here. This is just going to push and untab from here, if we just pop the leg upwards like so, this is going to collapse down and fold in on itself and just collapse into that crevice here. Make sure that this retaining tab is now facing downwards, and then we can just collapse the leg down into that cavity. I'm trying to get everything on camera here, and then this piece here extends and it's going to collapse down and tab in, holding all of this section into place. Come down to the feet. This is how the feet are standard. Sometimes you can flicker back and use the heel spur if you want to get more balance, but basically we want to straighten this out and just work that inside that hinge, bring the toe up and forwards and straighten that off. Make sure everything is tabbed in fully. Fold these hip panels down, rotate this piece around, and then you're going to want to straighten up this piece. To do so, you want to just lift this tab up, bring this all the way down, and then bring the tab back down, and we can straighten these all the way out, and we're going to rotate them 180 degrees on that waist joint so that they now face forwards. We can then rotate underneath where the thigh joint is, and that now allows everything to start tabbing into place. We can straighten off this. This now sits down, this sits in here, and we can bring these two together. Make sure that this piece is up out of the way, and now everything should, he says, just nicely collapse down together. Bring these back. These two pieces should come in and just tab and form the base of the gun. We're getting there. This part comes up completely. Pulling this forward, this allows this to rotate fully. Compressing the front and back and the sides now allows this to slide in. This all then just collapses down nice and firmly. This can then fold backwards, collapse, and tab back inwards, and we can straighten off this trigger piece, bringing this in and tabbing that in like so, and then let's just go around and tab everything where it should be. And there we have a handgun. We have a spring-loaded trigger. I think I've got it right. Like I say, yeah, I'm kind of going from some sheets of paper here. It does all tab in pretty darn firm. The width of this is quite nice, a good firm grip on there. I mean, I've got little tiny girly hands and they work for me. Loads of die cast in this rear section. Genuinely very impressed. That transformation was extremely fluid and probably one of the easiest Megatrons I've ever transformed. I still haven't quite tapped everything in there, but you get the idea. You'll get full color instructions with yours, but very, very impressed. Let's not forget about Laserbeak. Let's just transform him back. Slide this up, bring these in like so. Bring this down, fold these up like this, and then tuck everything away so everything has a place, and there's a place for everything. And this should then just slide in to the tip of the gun like so, and we can bring in Megatron's scope, and again that's just going to fit in on top like that. You can then extend this on those ratchets, and of course we then have the LED function. Man, that is awesome. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Really like the gun mode. Obviously bot mode is absolutely sublime. I think the weakest part of the gun mode is probably Laserbeak, but at the same time that's a very ingenious way to use Laserbeak. Personally I would have preferred kind of a normal Laserbeak and a normal silencer, but beggars cannot recipe choosers. He works in both modes, and Wei Jiang honestly have outdone themselves. This is now officially my favourite piece Wei Jiang have ever done. It's even better, in my opinion, than the MPP10. This is the new standard. With this figure, I personally feel that Wei Jiang have established themselves as a third party as opposed to just a knockoff company. It is a fantastic version of Megatron. It's the only version of Megatron that I've chopped and changed from bot to gun repeatedly. My son absolutely loves this gun mode, although it is quite big for him. But hey, he's a 9-year-old boy, which 9-year-old boy doesn't like playing with toy guns. But yes, it's an exceptional piece. And thank you very much to TFS Express for letting me mess around with this test shot. I've included a link where you can pre-order it. It will be out very shortly, so grab it now while you can before it shoots up in price. Thank you all again for checking out this new knockoff channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more awesome content. Until next time, from myself and Wei Jiang's oversized masterpiece Megatron, thanks for watching.